So I now invite Dr. Kinnari Mehta, consultant anesthetist, to introduce our next speaker, Dr. Ramesh Mehta, OBE, who will discuss how BAPIO can help tackle inequalities during and after the COVID pandemic. Kinnari.
It is my pleasure and privilege to introduce Dr. Ramesh Mehta, OBE, founder president of BAPIO. He had the vision to start BAPIO in 1996 with a small group of friends, which has now blossomed into a national organization with links all over the world. As he mentioned earlier, he's passionate about equality, diversity, and inclusion, and has led several campaigns against discrimination and differential attainment for BAME doctors in the UK. This has led to policy changes at the highest level in the government, GMC, and Royal Colleges. He is always available to lend a helping hand to anyone and everyone. He recently retired from a full-time clinical practice as a pediatrician, but continues to lead and guide BAPIO, which has gone from strength to strength under his guidance. Please welcome Dr. Ramesh Mehta.
Kinnari, thank you very much for that very kind introduction. It's a great pleasure to be at Wells conference. Wells, as I said before, is one of my favorite destinations. Can I start off by complimenting the conference team led by Keshav Hasmukh and company. Not only you are keeping to the time, you got excellent audio visual is going extremely well. Having organized many virtual conferences, there are always IT glitches, but so far, touch wood. So well done, the team. Can I also say that this conference is exceptional for several reasons. First of all, the First Minister of Wales coming and complimenting the work being done by BAPIO in Wales. Absolutely brilliant. I know the First Minister, I've met him several times in BAPIO conferences. He's so humble, but he's so honest as well. Signing of MOU, the first time in Wales, MOU being signed by the Cardiff Health Board is again, brilliant work. So thanks, Len Richard and Dr. Walker. Launch of CMO report, my goodness. So this is during BAPIO conference, the CMO report is being launched. That's an honor for the BAPIO Wales division. So I must thank Dr. Frank Atherton for that. Professor Push Mangat offering MOU with HEIW to BAPIO. Again, absolutely amazing. This shows the influence that the BAPIO Wales has over the establishment, and also the good work of BAPIO is being recognized. If I can have my presentation, please. Am I allowed to share the screen? Right, okay. I'm going to go through my presentation pretty briskly because I hope there will be time for there will be time for questioning. Now, Keshav asked me to talk about tackling inequalities during and post. So what is BAPIO doing? Now, it's amazing. The work BAPIO has done over this time, I will show you some of the things we have done. But what this pandemic has revealed is absolutely amazing. Structural racism, COVID thriving on racial discrimination, minority ethnic people in UK overexposed, underprotected, and stigmatized and overlooked. This is all come into focus. Black Lives Matter has probably pushed this issue in front of all other issues. So, as many of the speakers have said before me, this is the best time for us to ensure that the equality, diversity, and inclusion is, is the most important issue to be tackled by the nation. Now, what BAPIO has been doing is starting from the Prime Minister to the Health Minister, Home Minister, Chief Medical Officer, Chief Executive, Public Health, NHS England, everywhere. We have been talking to all of them all the times. Some of the things we have done is when the pandemic started, we said, look here, Chief Medical Officer, our solidarity is with the NHS. Whatever help is required, BAPIO members will be there to assist. And I'm very proud to say that BAPIO members have been in front line, whether it is nurses or doctors, and without worrying about the side effects or the dangers, they have been in the battlefield in the front line. But of course, there have been problems. Of course, there have been a problem. PPEs, we really picked up that issue in very early stages. PPEs were not available at right time, in the right type of PPEs, and so on. So when we found that it's not working, we also went to the court as an interested party in the important judicial review over the provision of PPEs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted that the things changed very quickly after that, and there was very significant improvement in the provision of PPEs. We also picked up the issue of testing for the for COVID for the frontline staff. We talked about ethnic differences in COVID mortality, morbidity. We raised the issue of disproportionate high mortality rates for BEM, health and social care workers. And we presented evidence to Parliamentary Committee on unequal impact. We were invited by the NHS Chief Executive, Simon Stevens, to review the BEM healthcare workers' deaths from COVID-19. We raised the issue of vitamin D deficiency. We raised the issue of BEM children, how they were more at risk at school. We also expressed concern about vulnerable children and adults. BEM community and COVID vaccination campaign. This has been a recent communication with the Prime Minister directly. We also raised the issue of the difference in the Pfizer vaccine being given at 12 weeks rather than 2 weeks. We raised the issue with the Prime Minister about lockdown, vaccines, PPEs. Again, there is some issue of PPEs. And finally, we raised the issue of emergency legislation needed to protect healthcare professionals at risk of inappropriate legal challenges when treating COVID-19 patients. I'm glad that Anthony Omo is here from GMC. We have taken GMC to court several times. However, having said that, GMC has been very, very cooperative during COVID times. We had excellent relationship, and I have had direct connection with the Chief Executive, Charlie Massey. So some of the issues we raised with GMC during COVID. So one of them was if doctors who did not get proper PPEs, and if they refuse to see patient, and if they're referred to GMC, what GMC is going to do. And there is a guideline for that GMC, for that from the GMC. We also raised the issue of registration uh, for those GP trainees who failed CSA and were not allowed to become a GP, whether they could be given the registration since there is urgent need for more doctors. The BAPIO survey of 2000 healthcare workers revealed the problem with BME doctors and healthcare workers, and we were in discussion with GMC about it. We also suggested to the GMC that services of suspended doctors could be used during this time when there is shortage of doctors. Stranded PLAB doctors, I will be talking a bit more about it, but I must say, and I'm grateful to GMC for coming forward straight away to support these doctors, not only by extending the time that they can take the PLAB, but also saving their monies they had paid to take the PLAB exam. GMC also agreed with BAPIO proposal to award CCT for those SAS doctors who had Caesar, they had cleared Caesar, but they were not allowed to say they are CCT, but now they are. So good collaboration with GMC. Alan Keynes has mentioned Priti Patel's interest in India, but I think she is a very tough person as far as immigration is concerned. However, she has agreed to few of our suggestions, and those include indefinite leave to remain for international healthcare workers, NHS immigration health surcharge, Mr. Keynes has mentioned, which was removed, and we were important organization to raise this issue. She was also good in extending the visas for stranded overseas doctors. And at the moment, we are fighting with her to get some way on adult dependent visa rule. These are uh, the parents of doctors who have nobody else to look after in their country of origin. And at the moment, they are not allowed to come and stay with their children here. In general, BAPIO was dismayed, of course, as everybody else, the way George Floyd was killed, and we were supporting the Black Lives Matter initiative. We had circulated advice on mental well-being and developed an advice line for our members. Locally employed doctor, Push had mentioned that these people were pushed in front line instead of trainees, because the HEE in England said that trainees should be given the trainee positions rather than sending them to front line. So who else will go to front line? So this is the SAS and locally employed doctors. However, to be fair to Health Education England, they took the steps to say that these LEDs are also equally important from training point of view. There was a consultant respiratory physician who was manhandled in Darlington, and we raised that issue with that trust. This is another important bit we did, that 23 trust doctors. So these are sort of LEDs. They were excluded from shortlisting for surgical training posts because they had more than 4 years of experience. So all IMGs having worked in India or overseas, and when they come, they would have more than 4 years of experience. And again, thanks to HEE, that this was withdrawn and they were allowed to apply for training post. And there has been discussion about the risk assessment tool developed by Prof. Keshav Singhal in collaboration with Wales government, which was then circulated, the app circulated free of charge in all over England, not only for healthcare professionals, but also for general population. During the COVID time, we launched BAPIO Institute for Health Research to promote world-class research and innovation in health, equitably involving and reflecting the interest of BAPIO's diverse membership. Ladies and gentlemen, I am so proud to tell you that within 8 or 10 months of launch, the BIHR has already published several important papers in national and international journals to raise issues of discrimination and how COVID is impacting on the health of BME population. The journals, we have two academic journals, the Physician and Sushruta, which has been now under the leadership of BIHR, and you see the chair and vice chair there. These journals are becoming internationally known. Launch of BINA, British Indian Nurses Association, officially at UK level, it was launched in November during our annual conference, and I'm delighted that the Wales division is being launched later today. This is to support nurses, pastoral care, career progression, training, employment support, policy influence, as well as recruitment. In those pictures, you see Mr. Kumar, the chair, and Ms. Asha, the co-chair of BINA. Supporting Indian tourists was an important thing which we collaborated with Indian High Commission. I'm just looking at my clock. Lab stranded doctors, we helped in a big way. Bridging the gap, this is a very important agenda for us. This is 1 year project for BAPIO to celebrate 25th year. It's our silver jubilee year this year, and bridging the gap is on differential attainment. And we have, of course, invited Prof. Mangat to be part of this as well. Both the government and HE are very keen on promoting this. We are getting support from all the establishment in UK. The various themes include recruitment, career progression, assessment, leadership roles, research and academia, and professionalism and well-being. So all these themes, how it is impacting on differential attainment of BME doctors. So this is the process map. We started in August 2020, and we are hoping to publish the whole paper by October, November this year. On that note, thank you very much. I hope I haven't taken more than my allotted time. If there is any time, I would be happy to take questions.
Thank you, Dr. Mehta. As the founder of BAPIO, I suppose I could refer to you as the grandfather of this conference.
You don't mean I'm too old?
Not at all. All international graduates are very grateful for BAPIO's efforts to tackling inequalities and other issues. Thanks again.
Thank you.
I will now invite Mrs. Shanu Bhatia, consultant dental surgeon, to introduce our next speaker, Her Excellency Gaitri Issar Kumar.
Hello, Boreda. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Her Excellency Gaitri Issar Kumar is the current High Commissioner of India to the UK, and she's the third woman to hold this post. She's from the 1986 batch of the Indian Foreign Service. She's a multilingualist and is fluent in several languages. In her career, she has served in several high-profile roles, including that of the ambassador to the EU, Belgium, and Luxembourg, where she promoted the culture of India. In her current role as the High Commissioner, She has actively promoted and deepened the Indo-UK political, trade, cultural, and economic ties. And it gives me great pleasure to invite Her Excellency Gaitri Issar Kumar to our meeting, and I look forward to her address.
Can you please unmute?
Okay.
Sorry, everyone. Now can you hear me well?
We can hear you very clearly.
All right. So let me just begin by thanking you all once again. And also to say that I'm just absolutely delighted to be here to meet the esteemed members of the British Association of Physicians of Indian Origin. And Dr. Ramesh Mehta, as president, I really was so delighted to hear that you are the founder and people refer to you as their elder. Of course, somebody said grandfather, but it's wonderful that you are guiding and steering the BAPIO. Professor Keshav Shinghal, who's chair, and distinguished participants. I'm very happy to have joined you on this occasion and be in. I would have been delighted to be in person in Wales today, but here we are. And at the very outset, I'd like to offer you my congratulations for launching the Wales division of BINA later today. So that's another important reason why today is a very special day. But at the outset, I would like to, I was listening to Dr. Mehta, and I would like to really reinforce what he said. Your service is really praiseworthy, and I'd like to offer you my warm congratulations for your noble efforts for the people of this country, particularly during the worst days of the COVID pandemic. You've unhesitatingly come forward to help and assist and advise and cure members of your community and all the others around you in a way that will be remembered and appreciated for years to come. And you've actually demonstrated the power of collaboration, of coming together as a force for good. And that is what really our Indian diaspora is known for. And that is a matter of pride for India, for me as High Commissioner of India. It is a standard that you bear with huge modesty and a great dedication. And today, being January 30th, I'd like to quote Mahatma Gandhi, the father of our nation, who said that the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. So today, which is marked as Martyrs' Day in India, I invite you to stay inspired as your practice and your profession of noble service denotes by Gandhiji's life and his message for humanity and the principles that he taught, and he lived by them also. So you represent thousands of Indian doctors and nurses who serve in cities and remote locations across the UK. Many of you are second and third generation doctors of Indian origin, and each of you has again and again proved the unmatched character and nature of the dedication and commitment that Indian doctors are known for. So I would really congratulate the BAPIO for having provided this platform, which has strengthened and channelized all these efforts and these energies to add value in a very unique way. Mr. President and Mr. Chair, I think all the distinguished participants will agree that COVID-19 has brought healthcare sector to the center stage of our lives and of world focus and attention. The year 2020 has been a most challenging year in an unprecedented way. But the good thing, which I would like to share, is that it was a year when India and the UK worked together on solutions. And we showed the way, and we have proven that we can and must build on our joint potential in healthcare. Formally, we have an umbrella MOU signed in 2013 for cooperation in healthcare. And there's a wide variety of clinical research, vaccine development, and exchanges in best practices. And we've a joint working group on health as well. BAPIO has in India a joint project with Health Education England in training of nurses in association with the West Bengal government. And BAPIO has helped to forge key linkages in research, education, and training. A good example are the MOUs signed by the University of South Wales with three Indian universities during the official visit of the Honorable Health Minister of Wales, Mr. Vaughan Getting, to India in October 2019. And of course, I look forward to his address. So another BAPIO Wales initiative has been, I'm told, the recruitment of 100 Indian doctors for higher training in Wales for a 2-year period. So this, and then the MOU with Manipal University, with the SRM group of institutes in Chennai, fellowship scheme initiated in 2016. All these will go a long way in enhancing this collaboration. I also thought I must mention to you that as you may be reading and seeing in the news, India has been able to really get a grip on the pandemic in our country. The rates and the data and the statistics are very, very heartening. But the important thing is that we have been at the forefront in helping other countries to deal with the COVID pandemic. So whatever we have, whatever we can share, whatever little we are able to, produce, whether it is enough for our people or not, we are trying to share as much as we can to help other people in dire need, keeping in mind, of course, uppermost the need of our own people. But the idea is to share and to help. Our government has been able to send essential drugs, testing kits, and other medical assistance to over 150 countries around the world. And we're trying to do it in as equitable manner as possible. Whoever has sought our help, we've tried to reach out. And our domestic PPE kit has been in high demand, our domestically produced and developed PPE kit. And during the global lockdown, we've had a mission Sagar, which is security and growth for all in our region. And that has been, we've deployed naval ships, aircraft, we've sent medical aid and food aid to friendly countries in our region to help them. So COVID-19 pandemic has actually served to show the need for strengthening the weaknesses in the global response to the pandemic, and the race for access to vaccines, in fact, has been quite distressing in a way. But India, as one of the largest pharmaceutical producers in the world, we produce about 60% of the world's vaccines. Our growing capacity in this and our scientific expertise in research and drugs development, all these have given us several major advantages at a time when this is our support and help are critical, when costs are critical. So with the Covishield vaccine being produced on a mass scale by India's Serum Institute and other indigenously developed vaccines, we actually started on the 16th of January, as you'd be aware, the world's largest vaccination program. And then, of course, we have the CoWIN app to digitally track stocks and beneficiaries. So, so things are going in a good way in our own country, in India and in our region. I'd like to make a quick mention of Ayurveda, because there seems to be a great interest in ashwagandha, giloy, tulsi, other traditional remedies, which may have helped our people in coping or building immunity. So there's an interest around the world in these home remedies that Indians may have relied on through the pandemic. I'd also like to mention the virtual UK-India Vaccines Hub, on which Indian and British experts will share knowledge. So with all of this, I would like to say to BAPIO, when I'm addressing, I have this opportunity to address so many leaders of the medical world, that your fraternity today, more than ever, has a major role to play in our society and our lives. And High Commission of India will, as always, stand with you in your initiatives and innovations. We will support, encourage, and cooperate with healthcare workers and authorities across the UK. And we encourage you, BAPIO, to come forward with your ideas and proposals and programs. For India UK cooperation in healthcare, we have a absolutely long history, and I am confident that we have a bright future and sky is the limit. So I would say let us all work together. And I call upon you to actually continue your efforts with the fullest enthusiasm and fortitude. And High Commission of India is with you. I look forward to meeting you all in person in Wales. I look forward to welcoming you back to India House whenever it's possible and permitted. But for now, I'm listening to you, and I'm listening very carefully to your interventions. I just want you to know that the High Commission of India is with you, and I thank you once again for inviting me to the forum today, and wish this discussion that this is very fruitful and productive, and we will follow through and follow up together with you all. Thank you very much.
You're on mute.
Did you, hello?
I'm talking about the podium.
You're on mute.
Murli, podium needs to be unmuted.
Thank you so much, Ms.
Thank you, Your Excellency. I think I have been referred to as dumb, but not as silent as I was right now because I was muted. Right. Thank you again, Your Excellency, for taking time off your busy schedule to spend time with us and to explain to us the historical relationship between India and the United Kingdom, as well as India's response to the COVID crisis. At this stage now, we are going to take a break for 20 minutes for lunch. We will reconvene at 1:50. Yeah, we will reconvene at 1:50 GMT. See you all the best.